Cardinal games, Blues games, conventions. Well, there's none of that. So this business has been decimated. So they finally got the okay to reopen the dining, and it's gone okay. One thing, I was in there mid-December, and I said to him, I said, after going, he said, I tried something different. He said, we're never open Christmas Eve. He said, I asked the staff, would they be willing to work Christmas Eve, which overwhelmingly they were because they were thrilled to work. He said, we put it out there that we're going to be open Christmas Eve. He said, I had 150 reservations within like 2 days.
Wow. Again, things have changed.
Things have changed. And there was this pent-up demand by some people. And this is when there was no dining in St. Louis County. And if you don't know our area, we're fragmented, and there's a difference between the city and the county. And the county was closed. The city was open. There's not that many nice restaurants left in the city, and there was huge demand. And he had a great Christmas Eve. He had a tremendous New Year's Eve because there was that demand. And how was the staff? The staff was grateful. And I didn't ask, but I'm going to bet they're off the roof. I bet they were just fantastic. Yeah,
well, and we had talked before, the upscale restaurants, I think, have had more of a problem than, say, the fast food. The fast food restaurant people have not been hurt at all. In fact, I think they're probably doing better than before.
I would agree. They haven't been shut one day.
No, and I will tell you, if you go by any restaurant, and I took a walk and I ate at some, I don't know if I would call them more casual dining than fast food, like the Panera Breads and Tim Hortons, places like that, where you order at the counter and you take your food back with you. I ate at a couple of those places this week while I was on the road. I never felt threatened. I was never within 6 feet of anybody. Everybody had a mask except for those of us that were sitting at our table eating. So they've done it the right way. And Kieran, every one of these places had help wanted signs outside. And I think to myself, well, wait a minute. I thought the restaurant business was done, gone. These restaurants can't find enough people to work in their restaurants.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Now, granted,
really is.
A waiter at Lowry's is different than an order taker at Panera Bread. Different job, but it's still the same industry, kind of.
Yeah. No, it definitely is the same industry. And candidly, if you can do one of those jobs, you can do the other. Which I think, to go back to an earlier point, that's what we're seeing more and more of in today's economy, which is, what are your transferable skills, And as you said, if it's a semi-skilled job and you've got any bit of gumption and you've done a little bit of this or a little bit, they'll teach you the rest of the job.
Yeah,
they will, and they'll be glad to have you. And I think we're going to continue to see more of that. We've been there for a while. We're here faster, and it is changing. It has changed.
It is. And for those of you who say, well, I don't want to do that physical hard work, I don't want to do that type of work, be careful before you make that blanket statement. I can tell you that 2 of my 4 sons work hard physical jobs where they're picking up heavy stuff and moving it on a regular basis. I will tell you they're both very physically fit, and they don't go to the gym. There's no need to go to the gym. They get paid to go to the gym. Their job is going to the gym. Okay. So there's benefits to that. They sleep well at night because they're tired. And to those of you who think that you can't learn a semi-skilled job, look at software. I mean, many people, especially younger people, are very good with software. I would say that that a 30-year-old can pick up a new software package a whole lot quicker than me. I can pick it up, but it takes me a little while. I'm not going to lie. Younger people pick that stuff up very well. And what one younger person told me one time, they said, look, software is easy. They have to make it easy because everybody has to understand it. If they make it difficult, no one's going to want to do it. And that's an accurate statement. Most semi-skilled jobs are the same way. It's a procedure. You do this, then that, then that, then this. If this doesn't work, you do that. If that doesn't work, you do this. And after a period of time, And maybe after the first couple of days, you may think, what the heck am I getting into? But after a couple of weeks, while it's not going to become second nature, you're going to understand it and you're going to be just fine with it. So these semi-skilled jobs are a whole lot like a software package. If they really were that hard to learn, nobody would be able to do it. They have to be able to make them learnable, teachable, and doable, or they're not going to make any money.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Well, we were also...
And they've got...
Oh, go ahead.
And I was just going to say, and they know that, like the people running the business, people owning the business, they know that. And these systems, these machines, these skills that have to be learned, they know that. So they're designed with that going into it.
Yeah, and that's the way things are. So please, I would say, and you used the perfect term. You've got to be able to, I'm not even going to say reinvent yourself, but just do things in a different way. I know you have done that throughout your life. I've done that. Most people have, because things change, people change. What trips your trigger once upon a time maybe doesn't trip your trigger anymore. Or perhaps your life has changed and the amount of income that you earn doing this, you want more. And people change, and just there's so many opportunities out there. Opportunities are just endless out there, in my opinion.
In America, 21st century, are you kidding me? There's never been more.
Yeah.
Because you can learn that new skill. You can read that book. You can find somebody to teach you. You could probably YouTube a new job skill. By watching YouTube videos, you can probably pick up 70% of it. There's never been a greater opportunity than today in the United States. But it doesn't mean it's just going to come in a nice package delivered to your doorstep. You might have to move. You might have to think about doing something different. You might have to reinvent not just yourself, but kind of your circumstances. But that's okay. Your grandparents would have killed for that opportunity.
Well, and actually, a lot of our grandparents or great-grandparents died trying to get that opportunity. I mean, once upon a time, go west, young man. All you got to do is take a boat over from the old country into a place where you have no money and you don't know the language. Just go ahead and work a little bit, and then buy a buggy and go all the way across the Great Plains and the mountains and the desert, and go to California and get some free land, and you're good. The dirty little secret is, many of them just died, and it's not like, if you're going to go from a busboy to a roofer, that's going to be a hard transition. But I guarantee you are not going to die. It's not going to kill you.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And there's usually some pain associated with growth. There always has been for me in my life.
And me too, because if it's not easy. Life isn't easy. And I would say in the times that we're in today, the times today, while there are more opportunities, I think times today are more difficult than they were before. And I say that because of the extreme change you have to go through. Sometimes you have to turn on a dime more than once, change your career more than once. The stress levels, the anxiety can be daunting. We have more in this country than we've ever had before. But because we have more, we have to do more to support that. I mean, anymore, when I was a kid growing up, we had some families didn't have telephones, and that's when you had the black box owned by Western Electric stuck on your wall. Okay. You had one, sometimes two. Now everybody has a cell phone. Everybody has cable or some type of service. Everybody has big flat screen televisions. What we have nowadays, what used to be a luxury, is just a necessity. And that's just the way things are. I'm not going to say if it's right or wrong, but that's just how things are. And life right now is difficult, and this pandemic makes it extremely difficult. But it's certainly, not only is it doable, it's very doable if you put your mind to it. Tell me if I'm off base.
You're 100% correct. It's absolutely doable. And you're right. Like some things have changed, like the stress of the lack of certainty, et cetera, but that's changed. But your chance of dying at work, my great-grandfather literally died at work, working for a company we all know, Anheuser-Busch. It wasn't a reflection on the company. It was a reflection of the way the world was at that time. Today's medicine, he'd have been out for a couple weeks and 6 weeks at the most and back at it. Yeah. So we kind of traded the downside of it, right? We might deal with the stress. We might deal with this. But if you're working in a car factory, you're not working in 90 degrees in the summer.
No.
And, you're working in 72 degrees the whole year. So all that changed. If you make your living as a landscaper, you've never had more tools, more equipment to make the job a little bit easier.
Well, and easy means efficient. In other words, you can get more work done. And generally, if you're more efficient, I mean, if you're going to dig a hole for a swimming pool with a shovel versus a bulldozer, the guy that digs with a shovel, he's not going to be able to make much money. The guy who uses a bulldozer, you can pay him more because he's there less.
Right. And that guy. So to use that example, the guy digging the swimming pool with the shovel, he's going to be digging that for a week or two. And the guy with the bulldozer with that digger is going to come in and he'll be out of there by lunch.
There you go. That's exactly right. Just things have become so efficient, and again, because we do things a different way.
Yeah, I think strong too. Like in my world, what's changed for the person trying to do retirement planning, trying to figure out their financials, is their ability to draw income because it's harder, because the CDs don't pay 1%. So the risks that they take, the companies change, so people look at stock dividends and they like somebody good, old and reliable, like, General Electric, who in the last 12 years has reduced their dividend to zero twice. And so things are constantly changing. And if you're not on top of it, you can get run over. You can. And you've got to find, I have a family member. My Uncle Eddie is a Catholic priest in New Zealand. And he told me this years ago, and I didn't understand it when I was 19. It made sense to me at about 30, when he said, everybody has to find a way to make life work. And that's part of it. And we're just having to make it work in a different circumstance than we've had before, and in which the last 12 months have brought an enormous amount of change.
They have, and I think your Uncle Eddie's a wise man, because there's a difference between making life work and making money. It depends on what your goals are. It depends on what you want. If you want to have a villa in the French Riviera, you need to make a whole lot of money. If it's okay to live in a stilt building on the Gasconade River, you don't have to make so much money. But it just depends on what you want to do. It's your choice.
Yeah, yes, and you have to own that it's your choice, and you have to accept the fact that I might want that villa on the French Riviera, and I might come up a little short, and I might have to settle for it. I rented it for 2 weeks with my wife once, and it was awesome.
There you
might
go.
Settle for that.
There you go. Your business, investing, that has changed big time. I know back when I was a young man and I started getting into investing, I started investing when I was 19 years old, and I've put away money most every paycheck. There was a short period of time in there, almost 6 months, where I didn't. But other than that, I've always put away some money from 19 till I still do that. But it used to be, okay, here's what you do. You buy a handful of blue chip stocks and then a couple of riskier stocks, and life is good. You can't do that anymore, because what was a blue chip stock today may not be a blue chip stock tomorrow. So you need somebody like you to explain stuff to people, right?